Siblings of the golden child, when did your parents' favoritism come back to bite them? While I struggled through community college working nights at the local diner, my sister glided through Harvard on my parents' dime. When I drove a rusted Honda that broke down weekly, she received a shiny BMW for her 18th birthday. My accomplishments were footnotes. Hers were front-page headlines in the family newsletter. Why can't you be more like your sister? Became the soundtrack of my childhood. Played on repeat at every family dinner, every report card, every life decision. Mom and dad remortgaged their house to fund Eliza's law school dreams, while I took out crippling loans for my nursing degree. When I needed help with the down payment on my small apartment, Dad said they were stretched thin. 2 months later, they gifted Eliza the down payment for her downtown condo as a graduation present. I learned to live with it. I built my life brick by brick without the silver trowel my sister wielded. I worked double shifts, paid off my loans, and eventually found my place at the city hospital's intensive care unit. I married Tom, had 2 beautiful children, and created the warmth I'd never felt in my parents' home. Then came Grandma Rose's final years. My grandmother had always seen through the family dynamics. During my childhood visits, she'd whisper, "The quiet ones are watching and learning. They'll be ready when it matters." I never quite understood what she meant. When Grandma Rose's health declined, my parents naturally assigned her care to the golden child. Eliza, now a high-powered attorney, hired a rotation of caregivers and visited when her schedule permitted, which wasn't off. Meanwhile, I spent every free moment at Grandma's bedside, adjusting her medications, coordinating with doctors, and simply holding her hand through long nights. My parents praised Eliza for managing Grandma's care so efficiently, while balancing her demanding career. They barely acknowledged my presence in the room. The day Grandma Rose passed, I was there moistening her lips with a sponge as she took her final breaths. Eliza was in court, unreachable. My parents arrived an hour too late, having prioritized picking Eliza up from the airport. 2 weeks after the funeral, we gathered in the family attorney's office for the reading of Grandma's will. The room felt stiff with expectation. My parents sat flanking Eliza like protective bookends. To my granddaughter Eliza, the attorney rep, who has been blessed with every advantage and opportunity, I leave my collection of first edition books with the hope that she finds time to read them someday. The silence was palpable. Eliza shifted uncomfortably. To my granddaughter Sarah, he continued, who has demonstrated true compassion and selflessness, I leave my home, my investments, and the remainder of my estate. My father's coffee cup clattered against the saucer. My mother's face drained of color. Grandma Rose had been quietly wealthy, very wealthy from decades of shrewd investment. The estate was substantial enough to pay off my mortgage, fund my children's education, and still leave a generous remainder. The attorney handed me a sealed envelope. Your grandmother asked that you read this privately. Later that night, I opened it with trembling fingers. My dearest Sarah, true wealth lies in how we care for others when there's nothing to gain. Your parents failed to see your golden heart because they were blinded by the fool's gold of achievement and status. I've watched you build a beautiful life from scraps while they handed your sister everything. Now it's your turn to decide what kind of parent, what kind of person you'll be with abundance. I trust you completely. Love, Grandma Rose. My parents' calls went unanswered for weeks. When we finally spoke, they suggested I share my inheritance with Eliza since she had been counting on it for her beach house plans. Some lessons come too late, but they come nonetheless. My parents now visit regularly, bearing gifts for my children, offering help I no longer need. They're trying in their way to balance scales that tipped decades ago.